Vanakkam, I'm Akshita Nandagopal joining you live this morning, not from a river but from the city of Chennai. Around me you can see the amount of water as the city of Chennai has been completely deluged. Right now I'm standing in the T Nagar Mambalam area, and in this part you're seeing the kind of water that's pushing through. The wind speeds are picking up, the rain is picking up as we speak. And this is the Madly subway, completely filled, and this is water from the Chembrambakam river and the lake that's really been released in this entire area. As I walk ahead, you can see the kind of current around me and how the water is flowing with it's such a dangerous pace. People right now are trying to stay off the roads. I've been reporting from here for the last few hours, and while we saw a lot more people stepping out then, with the rain now intensifying, very few people are out on the roads, and that's how it should be. Now we're continuing to get to the latest updates here on India Today on exactly what the situation is and what really is going to be the situation in the hours to come. The Met Department did warn that there will be such spells of heavy rain every now and then, and that's what we're seeing right now here. I want to first take this across to Pramod Madhav before I get your sense of the situation here and speak to some of the people from the Chennai Corporation who are behind me, who are working on ensuring that people don't get into that subway where they've got a huge amount of water. It's filled up to the brim in water. Pramod Madhav is joining us live from another point in Chennai to tell us the situation. Pramod, where I'm standing, the rain has picked up, the wind has picked up. The situation is looking very, very worrying.
Well, it is worrying here, Lakshita. This is the place where we went earlier, and the thing is that the child's parents are here with us to speak as well. In this house, the power supply was cut off around 3 in the morning, and this is an extremely worrisome situation because this is on the ground floor and they are struggling really a lot. In fact, I have the parents with us, and we also have a sweet child. She is 4-year-old. Unga per enna?
Rachita.
Her name is Rakshita. Sir, எப்போ current cut ஆச்சு? அதுக்கு அப்புறம் என்ன மாதிரி கஷ்டம் இங்க?
4 o'clock அப்புறம் வந்து பவர் கட் ஆயிடுச்சு. அதுக்கு அப்புறம் வந்து ஃபுல்லா தண்ணி வந்து உள்ள வர ஆரம்பிச்சிருச்சு. அந்த சைடு வந்து போறதுக்கு எதுவுமே வழி கிடையாது. அதனால வந்து தண்ணி வந்து கண்டினியூஸா வந்துட்டு இருக்கு. அது இல்லாம வண்டி போகும்போது வந்து ஃபுல்லா தண்ணி உள்ள ஸ்ப்ரெட் ஆகுது.
Like they have already constructed a kind of like a block in this place, but even after that water started entering at around 4 a.m. This place is completely flooded, and with a child they had to live over here. குழந்தைய வச்சிட்டு என்ன மாதிரி கஷ்டப்பீங்க இதை அனுபவிச்சிட்டு இருக்கீங்க?
எங்கேயும் வந்து வெளியே போக முடியல. ஒரு பால் எதனா வாங்கினா கூட உள்ள போய் போட முடியல குழந்தைங்களுக்கு.
So like it's an extremely difficult situation. Even to buy milk, they could not leave this place because here you can see this much water. Outside it's up to, you could see that this much wet here, and they cannot walk out because there are a lot of issues can occur. That's the reason they have a child also, and they are struggling at this point. This is just one house. This entire street is like that only. Sir, நீங்க ஆக்சுவலா கவர்மெண்ட் என்ன கேட்க விரும்புறீங்க? என்ன செய்யணும் இங்க?
அது வந்து இங்க ரோடு வந்து அவங்க கரெக்டா போட்டாங்கன்னா பரவாயில்ல, தண்ணி எதுவுமே உள்ள வராது. அது இல்லாம வந்து யாரோ வந்து கூட பார்க்க மாட்டேங்கிறாங்க. சைட்ல இவ்வளவு ஃப்ளட் ஆகுது, வீட்டு உள்ள தண்ணி போகுதுன்னு சொல்லிட்டு யாரும் வந்து பார்க்க மாட்டாங்க. பவரும் கட் பண்ணிட்டா நம்ம எப்படி போய் உள்ள சமைக்கிறது?
So they're asking like no one from the government has approached this part yet. Why haven't no one come to this place to talk to them, meet them? What is the current situation? Take a stock of the situation. These are the questions they're asking because without power, without no way to walk out, how will they go? How will they cook? How will they feed the child? That's what they're actually. மழை வந்துச்சு இல்லையா, தண்ணி ஏறிச்சு இல்லையா, என்ன பண்ணீங்க?
என்ன பண்ணமா? சொல்லுமா.
உள்ள பேசிட்டு இருந்தீங்க, என்ன பண்ணீங்க? தண்ணி வந்துச்சு, எப்படி இருந்துச்சு?
எங்க வெளிய போக முடியல. எங்க விளையாட முடியல.
வளர முடியல எங்கயோ.
அப்படியா? வேற கரண்ட் கட் ஆச்சு, என்ன மாதிரி இருந்துச்சு கரண்ட் கட் ஆன உங்களுக்கு?
பயமா இருந்துச்சு.
பயமா இருந்துச்சு.
So she's saying that after the power went off late night, it was very she was completely scared, and her concern is that she couldn't go out, meet her friends. Everyone have to stay inside. வேற ஏதாவது சொல்ல ஆசைப்படுறீங்களா?
ஆமா.
என்ன சொல்லுங்க. See, that's the innocence of children. Even in this hard situation, that child is smiling, just giving us a hope that this Chennaiites will survive. But the bigger question is that why isn't the stormwater drainage or any kind of work in this area? This is West Mambalam, is not yet clearing the water. Why is it not draining out? And here, minimum ஒரு 3 நாள் அவங்கள பவர் இங்க வரதுக்கு எப்படியும்?
ஆமா, அப்படிதான் சொல்லியிருக்காங்க. அப்படியே சமாளிச்சு தான் ஆகணும், வேற என்ன பண்ண முடியும்? வேற எங்கேயும் இங்க யாரும் இல்ல, மாடியில தான் வந்து ஸ்டே பண்ற மாதிரி இருக்கும்.
This is very unfortunate for them to get the power here from this place itself. It's going to take a minimum of 3 days. Water has to drain out, then they have to clean the place, and only then power after every place in this area is cleaned and without water. Only after that power will be restored. Until then, either they have to stay here or they have to go and stay with someone else in the first floor. That's going to be like they are ready to accept them, but still they feel that it is like giving them unnecessary issue, and still they have to manage one way or the other, because for 3 days this area is going to be like this, Akshita.
Right, Pramod, I can tell you, and for all our viewers who are watching this broadcast, it's raining cats and dogs right now here in Chennai. In Tinagar right now, the rain is picked up. This entire area is completely inundated. Before I take this across to some of the locals, joining us on this broadcast is the DG of Weather, Mr. Mohapatra. Sir, is there any good news in store for Chennai? What's the forecast for the hours ahead?
The forecast is that Chennai will continue to get heavy to very heavy rainfall. In some places, there can be extremely heavy rainfall today. And rainfall intensity will decrease from tomorrow. The maximum intensity will be there today as the depression is moving towards Chennai. By today evening, the depression, which is located at about 150 kilometers southeast of Chennai, will hit the coast by evening of today as a depression. So under its influence, rainfall will continue for today. From tomorrow, rainfall activity will decrease, not only for Chennai, but entire North Tamil Nadu and South Andhra Pradesh coast, including Rayalaseema area. In addition to that, there will be wind speed of 45 to 55 kmph.
Sir, is there any approximate amount of rainfall? Do we know how much rainfall could hit us?
Yeah, when I say extremely heavy rainfall, it can be anything beyond 20 centimeters. So 20 to 30 centimeter rainfall we can expect.
Okay. Okay. All right. All right, Mr. Mohapatra, thank you for joining us here on India Today. And as Mr. Mohapatra said, extremely heavy rainfall is what we're seeing right now. I can barely look into the camera right now because of the intensity of the rain. I want to take this across to the real heroes on the ground. The Chennai Corporation workers who've been working round the clock. Look at the heavy rain around me. They're standing here to ensure nobody walks into that subway and puts their lives at risk. And they were also telling me that they were working here yesterday when there was not a drop of water. Anna Solanga first. எப்படி இருந்துச்சு நேத்து நீங்க சொல்லிட்டு இருந்தீங்க சொல்லுங்க
ஒரு 2 நாளைக்கு முன்னாடி வந்து தண்ணி ஃபுல்லா இருந்தது மேடம் அப்புறம் மோட்டர் போட்டு ஸ்டாலின் வந்து முதலமைச்சர் வந்தாரு வந்து பார்த்துட்டு மோட்டர் போட்டு தண்ணி எல்லாம் வெளியே எடுத்து விட்டாச்சு அப்புறம் நேத்து நாங்க எல்லாம் உள்ள இறங்கி அந்த சேரு குப்பை பிளாஸ்டிக் எல்லாத்தையும் க்ளீன் பண்ணி விட்டாச்சு சரி இதோட ரூட் கிளியர் ஆயிடும்னு சொல்லிட்டு பார்த்தோம் இன்னைக்கு வந்த மழையில செம்பரப்பாக்கம் ஓபன் பண்ணிட்டாங்க என்னன்னு தெரியல ஃபுல்லா தண்ணி ஓவர் ஆயிடுச்சு இப்போ அதுல வந்து இப்ப ரொம்ப கஷ்டமா இருக்கு கொப்பை எடுக்கிறதுக்கு ரொம்ப பாரமா இருக்கு இது எப்போ ஆச்சு நேத்து நைட்டோட மழையோடயா எப்போ ஆச்சு
மழை தான் இன்னைக்கு அதிகமாகி போச்சு நேத்து ஃபுல்லா காயிலேயே ஒரு 10-11 கிளீன் பண்ணிட்டோம்
நீங்க எவ்வளவு நேரம் இங்க வேலை பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கீங்க இப்போ
6 மணில இருந்து 6 to 2
இந்த மழையில கூட எங்கேயே நின்னுட்டு என்ன பண்ணிட்டு
மழையில நாங்க செய்யறது அப்புறம் மார்க்கெட் எல்லாமே நாங்க சுத்தி பாத்துட்டு
இங்க இந்த இடத்துல என்ன சிச்சுவேஷன் இப்போ இருக்குன்னா வீட்டுல எல்லாம் என்ன
எல்லாரும் வீட்லயும் இங்க வந்து ஃபுல்லா தண்ணி ஏறிடுச்சு ஆல்ரெடி எல்லாரும் வந்து
தண்ணி ஏறிடுச்சு எல்லாரும் வீட்லயும்
இந்த சைட்ல ஒரு 3 தெரு இருக்கு துக்காராம் தெருன்ட்டு அந்த வீட்டுல எல்லாரும் வீட்லயும் தண்ணி போயிடுச்சு ஃபுல்லா ஆல்ரெடி எல்லாரும் வந்து அந்த கட்டில் மேல மட்டும் தான் உட்காந்துறாங்க யாரும் வெளியவும் வரல இப்ப நாங்க ஏரியா வந்து ஹவுஸ் கலெக்ஷன் பண்ண போனோம் அப்ப போய் பார்த்தா உள்ள எல்லாரும் வீட்லயும் தண்ணி இருக்கு ரொம்ப கஷ்டப்படுறாங்க அந்த சைட்ல எல்லாரும்
பவர் கட்
பவர் கட் ஆகல ஆனா வீட்டுக்குள்ள தான் தண்ணி இருக்கு தெருவுக்குள்ள அந்த அளவுக்கு தண்ணி இல்ல மத்தபடி எல்லாரும் வீட்லயும் அந்த
அழுகுறாங்க ஜனங்களும்
ரொம்ப கஷ்டப்படுறாங்க அவங்க எல்லாரும் அந்த சைடுல
So these corporation workers are working round the clock here. They're saying that from 6 a.m. in the morning they've been here trying to clear this entire area. What they were also telling me is that they just cleaned up the entire area. All the water was pumped out just yesterday. All of the garbage was cleared from here. And since then, overnight, again you're seeing this amount of water because of this kind of rainfall here in the city of Chennai. What happened really was that last night when I landed in the city, this was the kind of rainfall. It was non-stop through the night. There was a brief lull in the morning where we kind of got our hopes up that look, maybe the worst is behind us. But with the kind of rain that you're seeing right now, it's very, very clear. You look at the kind of water here, the current with which the water is flowing. According to the Chennai Corporation officials who I just spoke to in Tamil there, they did say that the water and the reason it's flowing with such intensity and so ferociously is because this is the water that's been released from Chembrabakam Lake. Remember that the amount of water that's been released from that lake has also increased and from many other reservoirs because they're all running at near full capacity. city now. With that being the situation, the administration has no choice really but to ensure that they let off some of the water. As I move to another location, let me get you some of the ground reports that have been filed by my colleagues from different parts of Chennai to tell you what the situation currently is.
This is a condition. This will lead to a lot of unnecessary accidents. In fact, from Chennai alone, we have already reported 2 accidents relating to potholes, and 1 person actually died, and thankfully 2 people escaped narrowly. So that's a bigger issue, because in such kind of road, in fact, I can show you this place. Like, this is a 13 feet deep subway, but you cannot see even nothing over there. It's complete this much water. This is a condition actually at this spot. So what the authorities have requested is that people not to venture. The rains are going to continue for another 6 hours. They want to avoid any untoward incident, and in this kind of water you will not be able to see the road, and that's a request that the people have. I mean, the state has made to the public. Whatever essential items are required, those things will continue, and they've also already asked the people to stack them up, because it's definitely going to take a minimum of 2 days and a maximum of 4 days to remove this water from such areas. This is like Dorasami subway, a very important subway. Several other locations are also there. In fact, I would like to also show one more interesting factor. Rain is not stopping people from, like, important actors. Today being a Suburban, you could see actually a groom actually getting prepared for his marriage as well, going on a horse, and those things are also occurring. This rain has not caused any kind of hindrance to the people's heart, but at the same time they have to be extremely careful. That is what the corporation and the state have placed as a request for the general public.
I am at Rajakilpakkam, which is in the suburbs of Chennai city, and what we can see here is a complete water, and all across the houses, the stores that are there, offices, all of them have been having water seepage. Right now I'll also show you a house that is right next to me, and in this house for the last 3 days the residents have been continuously filling water into buckets and have been throwing it out onto the road. This has been the scene for the last 3 days. This gentleman, Mr. Hari, has been doing this task all through the day. Hari, what is the situation like? You've been doing this for the last few hours that I've seen. What kind of measures has been done here? Has there been any precautions or help that you've got?
Still now we didn't receive any precautions or any help from anyone. But previous years also same things was happened, and again this year also same this continuous situation over there. So any of the government, the sectors or the municipality corporation, they have to take a step and they do it. This is not only for my house, this is for everyone also happening in this area.
Right now there is a little bit of respite here. The rains have stopped, the winds have stopped, but this might be the calm before the storm is what we have to say, because the IMD has predicted rainfalls all through the day. And the situation in Chennai and the neighboring suburban areas and the coastal districts are worrisome.
Everywhere that we go, it's hardly tar that I actually see a tar road. Most of the places are waterlogged. But leaving the city, I want to show you how people are suffering. I'm actually entering an individual's home, and this is what it is, Akshita. Let me just ask my camera person to pan and show the visuals. Luckily, it's not entered their home yet, because there's this sort of small place here, but water is completely filled. I'm actually going to try and walk inside. Is it safe? Okay, fine. They say that since the early hours of the morning, this has been the situation. What time onwards did the water actually start to enter your compound?
By around 3 o'clock.
3 o'clock. And how did you all manage?
We tried to, fill the buckets and throw it on the, just fill the roads.
Okay.
But since the rivers were all opened up, so it started coming inside now.
Okay. Any sort of help that you have received from anyone, the government? Because I also see that you have a pet over here.
No.
Nothing.
No.
But there are so many pits inside our house.
Okay.
We are managing to bring everything inside, but
Okay.
still, the water levels haven't.
Everything is there inside the house.
Okay.
Because even they don't know where to go.
Okay.
Morning the road was a bit clear.
Okay.
By 5 o'clock, 5:30, it's got flooded fully.
So this is what's happening over here, how citizens are actually somehow managing. They are hoping that things actually change, but considering the fact that throughout the day things might actually get worse, people are actually bracing themselves, hoping that somehow they can manage and wait for this to get over.
there will be strong surface winds with gustiness of the order of 40 to 45 kilometer per hour is likely to prevail over Chennai, Tiruvallur, Kanchipuram, Chengalpattu and Viluppuram districts. As far as the rainfall forecast is concerned, over the districts Chennai, Kanchipuram, Chengalpattu, Tiruvallur, Ranipettai, few places heavy to very heavy and one or two places extremely heavy is likely to occur. Over Velur, Tiruvannamalai, Viluppuram, Tirupattur districts, few places heavy to very heavy rainfall is likely to occur.
Another at least 24 hours there is going to be very heavy rains. We have tried our best to be better, to be prepared. Try to remain indoors, and the people or their children etc. should not go out in the rains. We will advise people to have their eatables, the vegetables, the food articles to be stored at least for the next 2 to 3 days in their houses itself, so that they don't need to go to the market during the heavy rains period etc. It's not safe.
And I've come inside one of the interior places close to the Madley subway. You see how houses also are completely flooded. Look at this entire area, completely inundated. And I also want to speak to some of the residents here on the kind of hardships that they're facing. Akka vaanga, இப்போ தண்ணி எப்போ உள்ள வந்துருச்சு உங்க வீட்டுக்குள்ள?
சாட்டர்டே வந்துதுங்க. சாட்டர்டேல இருந்து தண்ணி வந்து வெளியில போறதுக்கு வழியே கிடையாது. மெயின் ட்ரைனேஜர் எடுத்தாதான் போகும்னு சொன்னாங்க. ஆனா அதுக்கான நடவடிக்கையும் எடுத்துட்டாங்க. ஸோ நேற்று மழை கொஞ்சம் கம்மியா இருந்ததுனால அந்த தண்ணி எல்லாம் போச்சு, கொஞ்சம் லைட்டா போயிட்டு இருந்தது. இப்போ திருப்பி நைட்ல இருந்து கண்டினியூஸா மழை இருக்கிறதுனால தண்ணி சுத்தமா போகவே இல்லை. எங்களுக்கு முக்கிய அளவுக்கு வந்துட்டே இருக்கு தண்ணி.
உங்க வீட்டுக்குள்ள வந்துடுச்சா? என்ன பண்ணிருக்கீங்க? இப்போ யாருக்கும் கால் பண்ணிட்டீங்க, ஹெல்ப் பண்ணிட்டீங்களா?
இன்னும் யாருக்கும் பண்ணல, இனிமே தான் பண்ணணும். ஏன்னா கால் பண்ணாலும் லைன் போக மாட்டேங்குது யாருக்கும்.
ஓகே, நீங்க சொன்னீங்க தண்ணி கம்மியா ஆகல, 3 நாள் தண்ணி கம்மியா.
அதாவது தண்ணி வந்து வெளியில போறதுக்கான வழியே கிடையாது. அங்க மெயின்ல போனாதான் இந்த தண்ணி போகும்னு சொல்றாங்க. மெயின்லயும் நேற்றுக்கு அடைப்பெல்லாம் எடுத்திருக்காங்க. ஸோ அது போயிட்டே இருந்து திருப்பி ரெயின் அதிகமானதுனால அதுவும் ஸ்டாப் ஆயிடுது. இங்கேயும் தண்ணி போறதுக்கு வழி இல்லை. அப்படியே இருந்த தண்ணி சாட்டர்டேல வந்து இருந்த தண்ணி அப்படியே இருக்கு.
So she's telling us that from Saturday the water's been stagnant here because there's no way for it to drain out, and since last night because the rain again got heavy, you saw again the water levels slightly going up inside their homes. And in this entire stretch I can show you how houses are completely inundated on the inside. Many people I can see here have locked up their homes, packed up and left as well because of the fact that water levels are going up. They were perhaps scared that it would enter their homes and they'd have no way to escape. These are places where Chief Minister M.K. Stalin just a few days ago had also visited. Many of the areas here are completely inundated. These are low-lying parts, but the problem is that you've got the drains completely clogged up. The rain is continuing here, which means that there's no way for some of this water to actually go out. You look at these kind of houses again, where the situation is similar. Inside fully, there's water, and God knows how unhygienic it is for them to stay on in their homes, which is why many of them, we understand, have also left their homes right now in the hope that they can move out, and once the water drains, they will be able to come back. Right now, I can tell you that looks like it will take at least days for this water to drain out, simply because there's nowhere for the water to actually go at this point. And with the rains continuing, it's very, very worrying as to what the situation will be in the days forward as well, not just today. I want to tell you what is going to be the situation for today. Are we expecting more rains? There was a brief lull from the heavy rains today early in the morning when I was out here in different parts of Chennai. Right now, as you can see, it's raining pretty heavily and it's getting more and more intense with every passing minute. Chethi Narula breaks down for you what you can expect hour by hour update by tracking the weather system that's moving closer towards Chennai.
All right, Chennai, if you're watching this, and you must, so we'll get you what the situation looks like by the minute, because we've got the chart and the predictions right here on your screens. Also remember that stagnant water poses to be a huge health emergency right there in Chennai, and there is going to be more water to come. So brace yourselves right there. We're at 10:20 right now by the watch, and let me bring you my chart to around 10 a.m. This is where the cyclonic storm is, and hence you're witnessing that bit of rainfall. As Akshata was reporting from ground zero, the rainfall has begun, because if you can see the red, it is moving towards Chennai. So the cyclonic storm, the direction is moving towards Chennai. Let me bring you 11:30 now. It moves closer right there to Chennai. So you will see an escalation as far as the rainfall is concerned. I'm bringing you now 12 p.m. and what the situation looks like around 12 p.m. Look, it's just making its way more inwards into Chennai. 2:30 p.m. Slightly more inwards of Chennai. So it just intensifies as you go along the way right there. Now I'm bringing you 5 o'clock. And 5:30 is when the landfall will take place in Chennai. This is the situation as it stands around 5 and 5:30 where the landfall will take place. So brace yourselves for 5 to 5:30 p.m. Do not get out of your houses. Follow all the state advisory norms as well, and all the information that Akshata is getting and all our reporters are getting from ground zero in terms of the state advisory. Just follow them to the T, because 5:30 is when Chennai will experience this kind of cyclonic storm. As you saw, it moved further and further inwards into Chennai. Now let me get you from 5:30 onwards till 8:30. Doesn't look like there is going to be any respite, because it's still very heavy inwards of Chennai. You can see the storm making its way inwards, but it starts clearing out. Now, let's get you until 11:30. If you see it's moved away, it's all turned blue. It's calmer around that point of time. But again, between 5 and say about 8:30 to 9 p.m. you will have intense rainfall that will take place, and hence all the advisories coming in from the state government would have to be followed by all you people in Chennai. A battery of reporters and anchors, the largest team on ground zero, getting you every update, every voice possible, every opinion of the expert and Met department also possible, throwing straight back across to Akshata Nandagopal, who is standing by on the streets of Chennai, bringing you more updates. Over to you, Akshata.
Thanks very much, Chetty, for getting us that live update. This is the situation in T Nagar and Mambalam. You can see that the water levels are continuing to go up because of the discharge from the Chemprabakam lake, and the water is being pushed out in this particular area, which is why it's flowing so aggressively in these parts. I want to also get you an update from Nolan Pinto. He's reporting from Ashok Nagar, one of the low-lying areas, which is always a victim of this kind of flooding and inundation. And this torrential record rainfall that we're seeing, what's happening right now in Ashok Nagar? Nolan, over to you for the latest updates.
Well, Akshata, I'm actually basically heading towards the government hospital over here. I'm going to show you what's the situation. It's actually really pathetic as of now. The police are basically over here asking people not to come, but traffic, there is still traffic. I'm going to try and enter this particular hospital. It's the government peripheral hospital. It's very difficult to enter. Mount Road, the water at least was standing, but over here there's a very strong current as such. I'm going to try and walk towards there. Well, yes. So what the officials are basically using pumps over here to pump out the water that is actually gone inside this particular hospital. Once my camera person actually gets over here, I'll be able to show you the situation inside the hospital. This is what they're doing, Akshata, right over here. They have no other option but to pump out the water. The water, we are told, has actually entered part of the hospital. This is a government hospital, mind you. It's very, very bad. People who actually need help can't go inside. The ones who are inside are stuck. This is the situation over here. Let me just show you this, show what's happening. Just take a look. This is the government peripheral hospital in Ashok Nagar. There's no other option for the authorities but to actually do this. This is the situation where we are. It is pouring over here. In bouts, the wind, the speed increases in sort of bouts. You see in 5 minutes, 3 minutes, but it's really bad.
All right, Nolan, thank you for getting us that ground report from Ashok Nagar. Most parts of Chennai right now, there are reporters, Prabodh, Akshay, Nolan, and I have visited. It is very, very bad right now. Water levels are increasing. You can see around me, in the beginning of this broadcast, the rain was just pouring down on us. The intensity is slightly reduced, but that's nothing we can celebrate right now because the Met Department has said that we're going to be seeing extremely heavy rainfall, 20 centimeters plus rainfall in the city of Chennai. So the worst, unfortunately, isn't over yet. And that's why a word of caution to all the Chennaiites watching this broadcast. Be very, very careful. Don't step out of your homes. Continuing to rain cats and dogs here in the city of Chennai. Early in the morning, there was some respite, but the heavy rains are back, and it's triggered a lot of concerns and worries about what the situation will be on the ground when already there's so much inundation and flooding. I earlier spoke to weather blogger Shrikant on what really you can expect through the day. Here's what he said.
Gradually, as the depression comes closer to the coast, just before landfall, you'll again start seeing a huge convection, which will move from the sea into over the land. During which time the rains will once again be very heavy. So, and I was listening to you talking about the wind speeds on the ground. That's also an indication of the depression coming close by. IMD has warned that Chennai and surroundings could see winds up to 45 kilometers an hour because the depression is churning, right? It's a circulating body, so it'll keep pulling in winds from around it. So you'll obviously have, as the depression comes close by, it's like a cyclone. You'll find wind speeds increasing. So if you think it's all calm and one can step out, I would say please wait.
I can tell you, no matter what, with the kind of forecast that's been given and the prevalent conditions in the city of Chennai, simply do not step out of your homes. And that's what the government has advised too. Here's a list of what the government has said, their advisory to Chennaiites. Chaiti Narula breaks that down for you.
Let's get you the government advisory on your screens right now for the people in Chennai. Please, please, please stay away from sewage lines and drains at the moment. They're dangerous. Stay away from electric poles. Save your lives and your loved ones. Low-lying areas have been put on high alert in the city of Chennai. The people in Chennai have been requested to keep power backups ready. Then do not allow children to play in or near floodwaters. Please do not do this, parents. Also, move to relief camps. Contact helpline numbers in case of any kind of emergency. The next advisory is do not step out unnecessarily. Stay home, stay safe.